The United States government presents... This is our enemy. Tonight, a united nation goes forward with a determination to win this war and bring about a just and enduring peace. But we cannot win our war or make our peace unless we understand the character of the enemy we're fighting. That's why your government is bringing these programs to you. With us tonight is Francis Perrin, French patriot, who will speak to you later. This is a program of truth. This is the truth about our enemy. France under Hitler. On June 22nd, 1940, by terms of an armistice signed between Germany and France in the forest of Compiègne, the Third French Republic came to an end in the way it had begun, through the defeat of France by Germany. 8 days earlier, the occupation had begun when German troops marched through the streets of Paris. There were no throngs to greet the invaders. Most of the French had left Paris, and the few people that had come to watch the goose-stepping Nazis stood in clusters of 3 and 4, hostile, and for the most part silent. Not far from the Arc de Triomphe stood a small, middle-aged haberdasher, Jacques Talbot and his wife Berthe, proprietors of a small store on the Boulevard de Courcelles. With them was an old friend, David Mathieu, gray-haired and erect. Talbot spoke.
The Boche again.
Yes, the Boche again.
But how? Where did they come from? How did they get through?
Down in Brittany, you remember Cothcollure, my farm? Well, I had pigs. They would never keep in their sty. You close all the doors in the house, they would find a way to get in. You would find them rooting around in the parlor.
These are not so much pigs, Mathieu. They're wild boars.
Mathieu, you have lived longer than us. Explain what went wrong. Our army was the strongest in Europe, no? 6 million men. And the Maginot, it was impregnable.
Impregnable, Talbot, to all but the corruptible inside. Not all Frenchmen believed in France.
I should like to go home and get my gun.
Jacques, you and Berthe, you should leave Paris. There are going to be terrible times ahead.
What, leave the shop, Monsieur Mathieu? We've worked so hard to make it pay. All our lives, practically. Louis and Pierre, our children, we all lived so happily. Leave our home, Monsieur Mathieu.
If it is only your home, Berthe, if it is only your home, you will have to sacrifice.
Things are not as bad as that, eh, Mathieu? The Nazis have been given instructions to behave. I heard it on the radio Paris this morning.
Yes, they will behave. You will see how they will behave.
Come, we'll go home. Monsieur Mathieu, you will have tea with us?
No, thank you, Berthe. My stomach... This business has upset it. I think I'll go to my cafe and get a little cognac. That is, if those swine haven't gotten to it before me.
Mon Dieu, that is Madame Levy's grocery. They're smashing her shop.
Quick, Beth, give me a hand with these shutters out here. We are not Jews, but that won't make any difference.
Oh, Jacques, I should go to Madame Levy. She will need help.
She's not there. Her son came for her this morning. These drunken swine will probably hit you.
Oh, Monsieur Haberdasher. Closing early, eh?
How about accommodating some last-minute customers?
Please, we've had a long day. We must have our supper. Perhaps tomorrow morning.
Shirts. Look at those wonderful French shirts in
These
there.
gentlemen, they've been made up for special customers.
Special customer. Herr Hitler, eh?
Stay on the other side of the counter. I'll report you. You're not supposed to molest citizens.
Oh, she's right. Quiet, you dumbhead. Let me explain to Madame and Monsieur Haberdasher. Look, money.
Yes, I have money, too. Nothing but money. Pretty, eh? How many shirts for 200 francs?
This money, these bills, they look different from our French bills.
Are they good, monsieur?
Good, madame. There are none better. They are especially printed for us by Adolf Hitler.
Then they're counterfeit.
No, they are the new currency. They're worth as much as the old.
True, and in fact, your old bills will be useless.
Oh, is this not like a dream? Look at the label. Boulevard de Courcelles, the blue stripe is fine. Very smart. Made in Paris. How much?
125 francs, monsieur.
Jacques, so much they'll cost trouble.
It is usually 150, but for our guest.
Our guest. Did you hear that, Carl?
I'll take all you have.
Oh, wait, Carl. Maybe I want some of those. I like the color.
I saw them first. I'm going to have them. There are plenty of others for you.
Why, you selfish beast. Give me some of those.
Take your hands
Well,
off
I'll take
me.
some myself.
Let go, you lice.
Oh, I'll get you for that, Carl.
Here, come on, let it go on a fight. Get at him.
I'm trying to hold him. Get him.
Attention! So you're out to impress the French with German discipline, huh? What are you fighting about?
Nothing, sir. We were just buying some shirts.
Well, take your shirts and get out.
Yes, sir. We were just going, sir. Those blue ones are mine.
Leave the money.
Yes, sir.
No more brawling, you understand? Not in my district, anyhow.
Yes, sir.
Lucky he came in.
Who's the proprietor?
I am, monsieur officer.
How much are these shirts?
120... 100 francs, monsieur.
You know that all prices have been frozen?
We have been getting more, monsieur.
What my wife says is true.
How many of these do you have?
Of that quality, monsieur. 7 dozen. But in monsieur's size...
Never mind about my size. I'll take the lot. How much?
8,400 francs, monsieur.
Very well. I want you to make a list of everything you have here.
Everything?
Shirts, socks, ties, handkerchiefs, cotton, everything, you understand? We leave the prices to you.
But is monsieur setting up a store somewhere?
Yes, in the supply division of the German army.
The German army is buying our stock. Well, does monsieur carry so much money around with him?
It will not be necessary to pay for them immediately. Careful record of your account where the army is kept. At present, your stock is requisitioned. Here are my orders.
But the money, monsieur, your soldiers have money. All that money you're printing.
I'm afraid that won't be much use to you. It has no value yet.
No value.
When we've stabilized our currency in France, you will get every centime.
But, monsieur, when will that be?
I don't know. I'm not a financier. But rest assured, you shall be paid in full.
But you've taken everything we have. How shall we make a living?
We didn't invade France to teach our citizens how to make a living. The truck will be around the morning. Make sure you leave nothing out. Remember, if I catch you hiding anything, I'll have you shot. Heil Hitler.
As old Mathieu had predicted, the Nazis went wild in an orgy of drinking and brutality. They bought up everything in sight with their devaluated currency. For a while, Parisians were caught up in a business boom. But as things quieted, the true nature of the occupation became evident. Luxuries vanished. Businesses were requisitioned by the Nazis. Millions were deprived of the means of livelihood, and food became scarcer every day. As their savings vanished, and with nothing to buy or to sell in their shop, the Talbots, with their 19-year-old son Louis, left Paris for Cormier on the Channel coast. There they shared a house with Alphonse Renard, mayor of Cormier, and his daughter Jeannette. Old Mathieu lived in those parts.
Ah, your cuisine, Monsieur Lemaire, is always the best obtainable.
The soup is mostly water, but the ham, it is tasty, eh? I have been keeping it under guard for a long time. Perhaps it is a little, ripe,
Ham is ham nowadays.
Ah, the ham, Monsieur Lemaire, is best described by the phrase that, nicely aged.
Well, I'm delighted to have you all share it with me. Mathieu, Berthe, Jacques, Louis. I can't tell you how much happiness it gives me to have you all at my table, meager though it is these days. However, we make a brave clattering with our knives and forks. The Germans looking through the window might think we were having a banquet. They will not humiliate us with the crumbs of charity, huh?
Yet many Frenchmen are leaving, Papa, going to Germany and Poland to work for these Nazi beasts. I saw them signing up at the town hall.
We cannot judge them, child. They have wives and children. Many are starving. They are taken in by the Nazi promises to release our soldiers in German prison camps.
Well, I'd sooner starve than work for those brutes. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going with the Gaul. I'm going to join the Free French.
Louis, you mustn't say things like that.
Well, I met a man in the village who's going to get me out of the country. You'll be killed, Louis. If the Nazis don't get you, the government can have you executed for trying to join a foreign army. Foreign? Why, it's the only France I know, Father. I'm going the day after tomorrow. It's all arranged.
It is a bad night to be out. Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised if the Nazi patrols lose their way on the cliffs, huh?
Papa, the Nazis are getting suspicious.
You're a brave man, Monsieur le Maire.
Nonsense. I am on the cliffs only one night in the week. No one would suspect the mayor. But it is you, Mathieu, and Jeannette, and our new helpers, Jacques and Bert and Louis. You of the underground, getting out the newspaper, listening to the shortwave, keeping up hope in our people, giving them the truth about our allies.
That is only our duty. The things that worry me are different. I'd give my soul for a spool of cotton, any color. I have needles, 7 beautiful needles, and everything needs sewing. But there doesn't seem to be a spool of thread left in France.
There is a man I know in the town. I could give him the blue gloves, perhaps.
Jacques, the blue gloves, why, they're worth a fortune. Oh, why didn't we keep more of our stock out of the clutches of those dogs?
I was thinking, Louis will need some dollars, American dollars.
Oh, Monsieur Talbot, you're not going to let him leave.
Now, calm yourself, child. My husband likes to be prepared, Jeannette. With Louis, you can never tell.
I can get you dollars, Jacques, but they will cost you 200 francs each.
These prices break my heart. For what we are doing, the whole pack of us could be put before a firing squad.
Wait. Who's that?
I'll go, Papa.
Some neighbors who come to ask advice, no doubt, huh? Gestapo. Do not be alarmed. Shut the door, child. Ask the gentleman in.
Come in.
Well, Renache?
I am Renache.
Gentleman Franning wishes to see you. I have a car outside.
Papa, what is it?
Oh, some official business, probably. Finish your supper, child. Now, please, everybody go on. Don't worry. I'll be back in a little while.
Alphonse Renache. Monsieur le Maire. Come in.
It is a bad night to be out. But it must be something important Colonel's filing, huh?
Trivial to you, perhaps, but fairly important to me. In brief, Monsieur le Maire, I would like to know who is pushing my soldiers off the cliffs.
Pushing, Monsieur le Colonel?
5 German bodies have been found at the base of the cliffs in the past 2 weeks. There are probably many more drifting in the channel toward England.
Oh, the currents do not run that way, Monsieur le Colonel. If there are Germans in the channel, it is impossible for them to drift in that direction.
I didn't bring you here to discuss oceanography. You will find me the murderers of my soldiers, or I shall hold you personally responsible. We are doing everything to make things easy for your simple-minded people, but you are not very cooperative.
Oh, you misunderstand our attitude, Monsieur le Colonel. It is not that we do not appreciate what you are doing for us, but as you say, we are a simple people, and perhaps we are too anxious to comply with your new law.
Too anxious? What the devil are you talking about?
The curfew, for instance. We must hurry home early every evening.
Well, what about it?
This is a country of rain and mist. At night, the paths along the cliffs are dangerous, even for those who have lived in these parts for years. We slip, we slide. Sometimes in our haste, we bump into each other. There are accidents.
Confound you, sir. I don't care if your whole miserable race bumps out of existence. But why are the bodies that have been bumped, as you call it, over the cliffs, always my soldiers?
That I cannot say, Monsieur le Colonel. You are sure-footed enough for the most part. We have seen pictures of your inspiring goose step down the Champs-Élysées. But keeping your footing in high places with storms coming up, you do not understand.
Monsieur Mayor, you French are a witty race, so we have been told. Our wit is not so subtle, but it is more effective. It might be called the wit of action. We did not break the Maginot Line to lose our footing on a slippery road. If there is to be slipping, Monsieur Mayor, you will have to be the ones to do it. That is all.
Bosun's whistle. That's the signal. Goodbye, Jeanette, darling. I'm on my way to fight with the Gaul.
Louis, you may never come back. Can't you stay here? Working for the underground is just as important as fighting.
I know it is, Cherie. That's why I want you to stay and help Father and Mother in old Mathieu.
We could get married, Louis. We could be together. Shall we do that?
It'd be wonderful, Cherie. But I must do what I think best. Look at our France, Jeanette. These Nazi scum in our fields and towns telling us how much air we can breathe each day. And their words, their filthy, lying words in our ears till there's no room for clean sounds. I won't stay here and see our humiliation growing every day. I'm glad there are those who can stay, who can fight back with words. As for me, I must fight with my fists. Otherwise, I can't believe I'm fighting. I'm like that, Cherie. In your heart, you know it.
Yes. In my heart, I know it. Kiss me, Louis.
Goodbye, Cherie. I'm joining the Gaul because I want to fight for you, Cherie. You and France. You fight here for me. It can't be this way forever.
Goodbye, darling. Don't worry. We won't break.
Outwardly, the Nazis are the masters of the French, but inwardly, resistance seethes. The French turned to sabotage. Trains rushing food out of France were derailed. Delicate machines making precision tools of war suddenly went haywire. Gasoline was watered, food contaminated. Strikes broke out all over France, and riots were the order of the day. In the village where the Talbot now lived, where Alphonse Ronache was mayor, Colonel von Freiling was shot by two young patriots, whose identity was never discovered. The Germans retaliated.
Here are the list now. 50 hostages in all.
Let me see. Béranger, Michel, Laurent. Ronache. This will be a little gift from Colonel Freiling to the esteemed mayor of this town. We'll teach him who was the master.
How do you want the executions carried out, sir?
Round them all up and put them in jail first.
But the town jail won't hold more than 10 or 15 people.
I don't care how many the jail will hold. We're not in a hotel business. We're not providing private rooms and baths. Get them in somehow. I don't care how you do it. They won't be there long.
Yes, sir.
And now the procedure. I want them lined up in groups of 10. I want the executions to be as public as possible. What's the best place?
There's an open space in the center of the village in front of the town hall.
Oh, that's excellent. Make quite a parade of it. Get soldiers spruced up. I want plenty of swastikas about. I'll teach these simpletons to kill German officers.
And the firing party, sir. How many rifles?
Never mind the rifles. This is no military court-martial. A couple of machine guns will answer nicely. We'll give them a taste of blitzkrieg. That's all, Captain. See that nothing goes wrong.
Yes, sir. Oh, sir.
Yes, Captain.
The bodies.
The common pit.
May I respectfully suggest, sir, that we let the relatives claim the bodies? It might prevent a demonstration.
Yes, perhaps you're right. Do as you think fit. We get it done as quickly as possible. We can't waste the whole day on these peasants.
Fire!
My son, Pierre.
10. The fiends are breaking them up into 5 groups of 10.
Oh, Monsieur Mathieu, can't we do something? Must we stand by like this and see them murder our parents and friends?
You shouldn't have come, child.
Oh, Father, why did all this have to happen?
Take aim! Everyone a friend.
Fire!
Plenty. Does human blood run in the veins of these German soldiers? How can they shoot defenseless citizens?
Take aim! Fire! The pigs, the swine! I'll kill them with my hands!
Monsieur Mathieu, Father's in the next group. He's in the middle of the group. They're lining up now.
Don't look, child. Turn your head.
He's seen us. He's waving to us.
Take aim!
He's smiling, Monsieur Mathieu.
Fire!
Oh. He was smiling. Did you see? He was smiling. Oh, Father.
Come, child. Let us go home. He was my best friend. A brave man.
Louis was right. Force is the only thing that will stop them. We must make them crawl. Oh, Monsieur Mathieu, what good is our little paper?
Take aim!
The last.
Fire!
50 in all. There never was a more evil day in the history of man.
Now I suppose we must write.
Yes, right. Expose their lies. Show them up for the butchers they are. Wreck their factories. Stop their ghastly work as much as we can. There are many to help us. One day these monsters will get it all back. You'll live to see it, Jeanette. Mark my words, the day is not far off.
With winter came the cold that cut through the bodies of the starving and undernourished children and took its toll of the French people, who had little resistance against colds and disease. The food trains went wailing out of desolated France to feed the oppressors in Germany. Old Mathieu felt sick. A doctor came and left. There was nothing he could do. It was toward the end when Berthe Talbot returned from the village and entered the old man's room. Mathieu was in a coma.
Berthe, he's much weaker. Is the doctor coming?
Oh, he's too busy for one man. There is so much sickness.
But he's coming.
He'll try later. But he says it's hopeless. He saw that yesterday. The old man has no resistance. Pneumonia at his age.
But he can give him something, some medicine, some drugs.
There are none. No modern drugs, he says. Even the hospitals for civilians are helpless. There's no ether, oxygen, not even aspirin or iodine.
The Nazis... Oh, those blood-sucking, thieving swine. They couldn't get old Mathieu with their filthy Gestapo. But they got him like this. Since Father was shot. I don't think Monsieur Mathieu ever got over it.
Oh, he's coming around. I think he recognizes us.
Jacques and Berthe.
You feel a little stronger, Monsieur Mathieu.
Berthe. Jacques, keep the paper going. Father Bouchon, the priest of St. Joseph's, he's one of us. He will write for us. He's a brilliant man. We're lucky. He will be a thorn in their side. Go to him as soon as you can.
I will, Mathieu.
Now tell me what's happening.
Mathieu, you should rest.
You know, Mathieu, the Nazis have moved into the unoccupied zone. Now all France is theirs. Now even the semblance of liberty has been taken from us.
Oh, the promises they made. The armistice. Did we ever really believe them? Treachery and dishonor in all their dealings. There was never a race like them on earth for evil.
Monsieur Mathieu, don't take it to heart, so try to rest.
Rest? Yes. I suppose we are lucky these days if we can rest.
Monsieur Mathieu.
Jeannette.
Monsieur Mathieu. There's wonderful news. News to make you well.
Calm yourself, child. Monsieur Mathieu.
Let her alone, Berthe. Come, child. Let me hear, quickly.
The fleet has been scuttled.
How do you know?
No.
Is it true?
I heard it on the shortwave radio just now.
Oh, magnificent news. Well, what happened? Tell me everything.
The Nazis rushed down to Toulon, where the fleet was anchored. Before they could get there, our French sailors had sunk most of it. The Nazis got only a few ships. Our French sailors did it. They were loyal all the time.
Thank God.
Monsieur Mathieu. Oh, no. Oh, it's been too much.
It's all right, Bert. It's all right. Don't cry. Listen to me. It is the beginning of the end for the oppressors. They are on the run. The pigs are being driven from the house. Don't let them out of the sty again. Now there's hope for all of us. Hope for France. For liberty. Equality. Fraternity.
We now present Francis Perrin, former lieutenant in the French Army, former professor at the University of Paris, now visiting professor at Columbia University. Professor Perrin lived in Paris 1 year following the German occupation. Professor Perrin.
Yes, you must know your enemy. The story of the Talbot shows some true aspects of what happened in France, where we learn to know it too late. I lived in Paris for more than 1 year after the armistice, and often visited the country. I saw the thorough organized looting, the loss of all freedoms, the increasing cruelty of the German army, the progressive enslavement of the French people. And answering to this, I saw the growing hate of this peace-loving people, who learned to make little difference between the Nazis and the rest of the Germans. I saw the rise of the spirit of resistance, more remarkable among the small people, the workers, the peasants, and the organization of the underground movements. When our enemies occupy a country, they conquer it in every grim sense of the word. Germany has enslaved most of Europe. Slavery, that is the meaning of Hitler's words, the New Order. The Germans are to be the super race, and all others are to be their slaves. French workers are shipped to Germany, where they work for slave wages. This is not occupation, this is conquest. We French have been beaten, starved, humiliated, impoverished. But one thing the Nazis have not crushed from us, love of liberty. The peoples in France are cruelly suffering. They are cold, they are hungry, but their moral is high. They don't doubt now that victory will come. They resist to the conqueror by all possible means and are ready to fight when the united armies land in Europe, to help to defeat our common enemy and to reconquer their lost liberty.
This is our enemy. The following actors participated in this program: Arnold Moss, Betty Gard, Evelyn Juster, G. Swain Gordon, Phil Clark, Richard Gordon, Alexander Clark, Jack Smart, Frank Lovejoy, John Thomas, George Baxter, and Blaine Cordner. We wish to thank Francis Perrin for his appearance tonight. Nathan Van Cleve composed the music and conducted the orchestra. This program was written by Leopold Prosser. The entire production under the direction of Frank Telford. This has been the 31st in a series which is presented each week at this time over most of these stations by the United States government in cooperation with WOR and the Mutual Network. This is Mutual.